Hello, this is Mrs. King, one of your 7th grade language arts teachers, and I am here to review the answers to your quiz that you took on Monday, which covered the text Brazil Snake Island, Legend Meets Science, and it covered the skills that we learned and practiced last week regarding nonfiction reading. Okay, so question number 1. Which two statements below are central ideas in the article Brazil's Snake Island? This is a question that hopefully you recognized from last week because we did cover this question, or a similar question at least, last week on the day that we discussed central ideas. And we learned that in nonfiction articles that you can have a central idea for different sections of an article. So in our article, Brazil Snake Island, Legend Meets Science, we had different subsections: the legend of the lighthouse, just the facts, and the snakes though. And we talked about that in these separate subheadings, under these subheadings, that each of these sections had its own central idea. So we are looking for 2 of the central ideas that were covered in this article. And so our answers are B, the unique features of Snake Island are a result of its separation from the mainland, and that was our central idea of the section, just the facts. And our other answer is some legends and folklore attempt to explain and sensationalize Snake Island. And that was our central idea for the section, The Legend of the Lighthouse. Okay? So now, question number 2, what is the central idea of the subsection, Just the Facts? Okay? And the answer to that is Snake Island is the result of rising sea levels and evolution, because this whole section talks about how Snake Island came to be. It used to be connected to the mainland, but because of those rising sea levels, it is now its own island. And it also told us how the snakes came to be the extremely venomous creatures that they are today. Okay? Question number 3. How is the central idea developed in the subsection, Just the Facts? Okay, so this goes along with how do we know that this is the central idea of that section? Okay? And we know that because the author discusses how the sea levels created an island and evolution changed the snake. Okay, question number 4. Which of the following details could be added to the subsection, The Snakes Though? So let's scroll down. So we're talking about this section where they are talking about the lancehead vipers and the golden lancehead snakes, okay, and how they are similar yet different. And the reason that they differ is because the snakes that live on the island have evolved to where they are now have that extra strong venom, and how now they eat birds instead of rodents like the ones on the mainland. Okay? So, which of the following details could be added to that section? Okay, so the choices are: the scientists believe that venom from the golden lancehead may be useful in medicine. Okay, well, that's talking about snakes and the snakes that live on Snake Island, so that would be a consideration. Okay, there are many species of pit vipers similar to the lancehead viper in South America. Well, this is kind of going into a different topic. It's not talking about the 2 types of snakes that are included in this section. Okay, C. Birds often stop on Snake Island to find shelter from the rain that is common to the area. Well, that's focusing more on the birds and not the snakes. And D. Another legend tells of a fisherman who tried to make it to Snake Island. Now, that is something that could be included in our first section, the legend of the lighthouse, because it talked about legends and folklore, but it would not be included in this section. So our correct answer is A. Okay. Question 5. Which sentence below belongs in a summary of the article? Okay, so we're talking about now not just a subsection, but we are talking about the entire article. So if somebody were to ask you to summarize this article and tell you what it was about, what is an important sentence that you would need to include? Okay. So let's look at our choices. The lighthouse keeper lived on the island with his wife and daughter for several years. Well, that's an interesting fact, but it really doesn't tell us what the article is about. B. Lancehead snakes are able to reproduce rapidly with no ground level predators on the island. Okay, and another interesting fact, important fact. C. The isolation of snakes on the island explains why the snakes came to be so deadly. D. The snakes can grow to be up to 1.5 feet long. Okay, so all of these things are true, but which one of these sentences would you include if you were just giving a summary of what the article is about? The best answer is C. Okay. Question number 6. Which sentence about the article below is not objective? Okay, so remember that objective means that you are not casting any opinion or bias into the statement. It would just be factual. So let's look at our choices. Snake Island can teach us about the process of evolution. That is true and contains no bias. B. Rising sea levels help explain why the snakes on Snake Island are so deadly. True and unbiased. C. The golden lancehead snake is more venomous than the lancehead viper snake. True, unbiased. The legend of the lighthouse is obviously ridiculous and can't possibly be true in any way. Okay, right here, obviously ridiculous, that most definitely shows bias or opinion. So this statement is not objective. Question number 7. Which evidence best supports the idea that the Brazilian government works to protect its people from the dangerous snakes on Snake Island? The answer is C. The Brazilian Navy monitors the lighthouse and makes sure that no visitors get too close to the island. Because what it's asking you is how the Brazilian government works to protect its people. Okay? So this is evidence to support it because A, it does say it is so dangerous to visit this island the Brazilian government has made it illegal to go there. Okay, so that would also be supporting that the Brazilian government is trying to protect its people. Okay, but this is a very specific way so that they are trying to protect the people. So that would be your best supporting evidence. Question 8. Which statement best describes the relationship between the golden lancehead and the lancehead viper? So we are saying what is the relationship between the two snakes? Correct answer, the golden lancehead evolved from the lancehead viper. Okay, so here let's go down and look at where does it first tell us about that? Okay. Today's golden lancehead snake is the result of evolution. And so it talks about the lancehead snakes. Let me see if I can stretch this out here. Stranded there were able to reproduce quickly. And so it said that the golden, right here we have, the golden lancehead snakes on Snake Island evolved differently from the lancehead viper on the mainland. Okay, so that is where we find our answer to question 8. Okay, question number 9. Based on the article, which statement below explains why the snakes on the island evolved differently from the snakes on the mainland? Okay, so there were no ground level animals on the island for the snakes to eat. Okay. Which evidence from the article most strongly supports your answer to question 9? Okay, so let's look at them. A, Mother Nature helped the island snakes develop strong venom so that they could almost immediately kill any bird. Well, that definitely sounds like a good piece of evidence, but let's look at our other choices. Lancehead vipers live on the mainland of Brazil and feed mainly on rodents. Well, that does not support my answer of how the snakes evolved differently. C, the venom of the golden lancehead is 3 times stronger than that of the lancehead viper. Okay, that is a true statement, but I'm trying to support my answer that there are no ground level animals on the island for the snakes to eat. Okay, and the poison is so strong that it is actually capable of melting human flesh. That is a horrifying fact, but it does not support this answer. This is our piece of evidence that supports our answer to question 9. Question 11. Which statement applies to only the golden lancehead? Okay, so we are going to need to look very, very carefully for our answers to this next set of questions. Okay, so we are looking for statements that apply to both. Whoops, hold on. I didn't mean to click an answer already. Which statement applies to only the golden lancehead? Okay, so I'm going to come here and I'm going to look for information about these snakes. Okay? And actually, I really need to look in both sections, just the facts, because they start talking about the snakes there and the snakes though. So the one that applies to only the golden lancehead is that it could be found exclusively on Snake Island. Okay? Because it is the lancehead viper that's found on the mainland of Brazil. Both snakes are venomous. Both are responsible for 90% of all snake bites in Brazil. Like together they are. But the golden lancehead is the only one that is found exclusively on Snake Island. Okay? Which statement applies to both the golden lancehead and the lancehead viper? And that is A. Both of these snakes can grow up to 1.5 feet long and are venomous. Okay? This is not the correct answer because it says and feed on rodents, and we know that the snakes that live on the island do not have rodents to eat. Okay, and this one also says feed on rodents, and we know that the ones on the island do not eat rodents. Okay, and we also know that the ones on the island do not live among humans.